This is Clement Life.
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an X-car and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with my wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned 8-cylinder. With posh new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize. They say the new driver cannot drive. Well, of the 33 chosen passengers, Ramnath, Pandey, Humphrey, and Sulama, they wouldn't let the poor driver drive in peace. They distracting him and wouldn't cease. While he driving, they hitting him some big cloud. So he stopped the maxi and put them out. And to discuss their fate, they went to drink us straight by a club called 88. The driver called his sweet mouth friend Flash Gordon to give him some driving lessons. Flash appointed himself as the conductor, pushing around them passengers. Meanwhile, the car running about helter-skelter. Pedestrians started to scatter. Ellis Clark had to jump and run to stay alive. He said,
the new driver cannot drive.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome one, welcome all to the listeners of Independent Talk for today, Sunday, the 20th day of November 2022. Good afternoon, KB.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Without any further ado, KB, because Grenada is still our constituency.
Yeah.
Real FM is still our parliament.
Yes.
And the people has appointed us the spokesman.
Yeah.
So we're speaking for the weak, the meek, the poor. So without any further ado, KB, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Carl. Agreed. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, listeners of Real FM. Happy to be here once again. And Mr. Carl, we have a terrible strike on our hand. People crying, some mourning because of this strike. On the port, people accuse the union of taking arbitrary action on the port. But brothers and sisters, we always want to remind you, study your history well. Failure to do so, there's a strong possibility you will repeat the mistake of the past. You may be able to recover. Sometimes we may never able to recover because of the mistake we are making. Brothers and sisters, we had one of the most charismatic leader in the English-speaking Caribbean, Maurice Bishop. Whenever he attended international forum, he carried with him a very radical foreign policy. Support all what the communist bloc support and oppose most of the policy of the Western Bloc. And in one of his speech at the United Nations, was considered one of the most serious political blunder by Maurice Bishop. He supported the invasion of Afghanistan and the execution of the leader, Hafizullah Amin. And as someone said, KB, that speech was so radical for the United Nations. It was a serious political blunder. Had he made such speech in Cuba or Iraq, that was okay in any third world country. But in the United Nations, you experience diplomacy at the highest level. After the speech, I did discuss it with Dr. Stanley Cyrus Santana, and he said, KB, that speech was too radical. My study group this Saturday, I remember Bishop asking me what Stanley Cyrus thought of the speech. And he said that speech was too radical for the United Nations. And he agreed to make statement that Russia was right to invade Afghanistan and arrest the leader and execute him in cold blood, sending the wrong signal to other groups around the world. Now we say you must be careful what you wish for. You know the same thing Bishop turned around and accused Hafizullah Amin as an agent of imperialism, counter-revolutionary. So he was qualified to die that way. He said, be careful what you wish for. You know, the same thing happened to Maurice Bishop. He was arrested and executed by radical groups, a radical group in his party, in his government. So we always ask you to study your history well. So mistake will never be repeated. Remember Michael Battis on a platform in Victoria accusing Miss Morris of failing to rectify the toilet problem in Victoria. And he suggests to the people, whenever they wish to go to the washroom and they want to ease themselves, do it on a piece of paper and throw it in Miss Morris' veranda. The NDC clap because they were supporting Michael Battis on that issue. And we always warn them, be careful of what you wish for. Around the same time, the electricity went out around Christmas time. Chester Humphrey was in charge of Tau. The people on the western side were so mad with Chester. They led, a group of people was led in the company of Jewsbury, went in Chester Humphrey home and threw most of the meat, old meat that spoiled in the fridge, in the man's house. Those NDC who had supported Michael Battis' idea, they all get upset because Chester at that time was a supporter of NDC. So they upset that happened to Chester. Again, we warn them, be careful what you wish for. No, we were confronted not long ago with the teachers taking strike action arbitrarily. And everybody turn NDC, they support the teachers, they turn on Dr. Mitchell, they turn on NNP, they call them wicked and malicious. The teachers take some hard position. Some of them even refuse to remain in the school during lunchtime. Abandon the children. Children that had ambition to go to the Olympic, even that was denied because all sporting activities were banned. Teachers stopped to participate. They take hard action, hard position against the government. One wonder how a political party like NDC could support the teachers in this action. Take the court to tell the teachers, look, you're wrong. You ain't work, you're not supposed to get pay. But what make it worse? The leader of the Congress compound it and reward them for the bad behavior and doing wrong by paying them, even setting a bad precedent. Telling other trade union, you could do the same thing. You could strike arbitrarily, disturb the peace in this country, and you could get away with it. Someone asked Dr. Mitchell after the election, tell me something, teachers vote against you because you did not pay them their money because they went on strike. Dr. Mitchell said, well, yes, I might lose a couple of votes, but I'll do the same thing. I will not pay them once they don't work. You have, because if you set that precedent, when other trade unions behave bad and strike arbitrarily, disturb the peace in this country, you understand? And putting their selfish, narrow interests before the national good, I will still have to pay them because we set that precedent. I don't mind if I lose vote. I don't mind if I lose election, but I must do the right thing. The chicken will always come home to roost. Today, we face with a strike on the port. To me, it's the most unnecessary strike I've ever experienced. And it's the most irresponsible strike we have ever experienced. How can you strike in front of the Christmas when poor people carrot on the port, poor people onion on the port, poor people potato on the port? They expect their barrel once a year from Christmas. You strike at that time, don't give in consideration to the poor and vulnerable and the peace and stability of this country? Who could you take that position? But NDC, it's good for you. It's good for you. That good for you, NDC. Because you always support wrong things. You support the teachers when they're wrong. And you pay them when they're wrong. So obviously, if the brain of the society, the people with profound intellectual depth in the society, the teachers, do this and get away, do something like this and get away with it, obviously, who is those sport workers? Those sport workers feel they could do it and get away too. They could strike arbitrarily. They could do things vai and get away. Even before they seek audience with the Minister of Labor or the Labor Commissioner, they go on strike. Close down the port, close down the country. Send out bad signal to foreign investors. Businessmen waiting to clear the container. Everything locked down. Because when you set a bad precedent, people will follow. NDC, when you in opposition, you have to behave responsible. You have to understand one day you will become leaders of this country and you want everybody to behave responsible. You want people to behave in a civil way. You can't ask them to behave bad when you're in opposition. Break the rules. Violate the law of this land. Disrespect authority. And when you go in government, you expect everybody by the stroke of a pen to get in line and behave in a civilized way. Expect them to obey the rules, obey the laws of this country. When you're in opposition, you're discouraging them. You tell them, break the law, and that Mitchell, break the law, strike. No, you are leaders of this country. You have problem remaining some of your supporters for bad behavior. Look at what happened to this country today. People crying. Some traffickers could never make it back in Trinidad again. After they lost the potato, the onion, and the carrot. One blew, and they done. Because you put your selfish, narrow interests above national good. The chicken come home to roost. Be careful what you wish for. All of us want Grenada to be a better place. All of us, all of us. But when you're one-sided, when you're biased, when you're hypocrite, it always come back to haunt you. Now, all the NDC who back the teachers to do things in an arbitrary way, you're upset with the people on the port for taking action and behaving in an arbitrary way. But you encourage it, you give credence and legitimacy to bad behavior in the past. You support the teachers. And even the court tell the teachers, look, you're wrong, teachers. You lost the case. You still go and pay them for the bad behavior. Because you want vote. You want vote. You want to be liked. Now look what happened. The chicken come home to roost. You set bad example. You understand? You encourage people in bad behavior. What happened to you? Over the past, I look at my friend Andre Lewis. We was senior in the revolution. He was junior, the youngest revolutionary. But I say by now he should learn. Because we have seen what we did, the mistake we made in the past. Locking up all Gearyites in an arbitrary way. Closing down newspaper in an arbitrary way. Banning every political party in this country. Putting over 3,000 people in jail without charge, without trial. Over 150 Rastas in a cattle pen in Hopeville. We behave in an arbitrary way. Line up people on the foot and execute them in an arbitrary way. By now, we should learn. And no, we should not behave in an arbitrary way. We have to be responsible. We still don't learn nothing. Teachers going on strike in an arbitrary way. Violating the own rules, the law of this land, and the government already paying them, compensating them. When we sell the wrong signal, what do we expect? The chicken will come home to roost. I understand you have some traffickers. It's hard to say it on radio. They're walking almost naked in the street. Traffickers walking almost naked, the hand on the head. They can't go back to the bank in front of the Christmas. in front of the Christmas. It's the worst kind of strike, the worst kind of decision I've ever experienced for the longest while. I can't remember any union take action that will hurt the people of this country like that. It's painful. NDC, the chicken come home to roost because you've been sending people home in an arbitrary way. You've been operating, doing things in an arbitrary way. I was going Grenville the other day, and a group of people call out to me, KB, KB, KB. I just took the hand and I go straight. I know what they was telling me, what they was going to tell me. Because I got information before. All of them will be going home the next day. So I didn't want to stand with them and discuss that unwelcome news up a street. When I reached in the market, a old woman approached me and she said, Kay, you know they send me home. They give me a letter to go home. All she does was to clean the toilet in the market. And I felt that pain. I said, a woman who cleaning toilet, what threat this woman could be to the NDC? She taking care of the washroom. The only crime she commit maybe around election time, she wear a green jersey. So they pass sentence on her. She must go home. And you get a witness that cry and you hear that cry right through this country every day you pass. In Grenville, somebody will come to you and say, hey, you know, they send me home. And at one time, I get so upset, not only with the NDC, but sometimes with the NNP for handing over this country on a silver platter to these people. And the pain, the suffering of the Grenadian people. And that strike, I'll tell you, there is more to come out of that strike on the port. We'll get information we will never, never expect. And as Master Carl going to compound it, you're surprised to know who the union tried to protect and who the government of this day tried to protect. It will come out. But at least the poor and vulnerable are the one who suffering the most. They can't clear the barrel. The onion spoil. The potato spoil. You understand? The carrot spoil. And that will strip them of their dignity because they will have nothing to eat for Christmas. And some of them can't go back to Trinidad because when a trafficker get too blue, as one woman say, hey, the boat sink with the first set of load. I go in the bank, get assistance to bring that last set. Now look at it on the port, spoiling. That is the pain. You see, when you act irresponsible as a government and an opposition party, you get those problems. Even you, when you're in opposition, you have to behave responsibly. When you're in government, again, worse. You have to be responsible all the time. You cannot do things vice and behave in an arbitrary way. This country belongs to all of us. We must wish good for this country all the time, whether NNP or NDC, because those carrots that's spoiling on the port is not only NNP carrot, it's NDC carrot, it's traffickers carrot, poor people carrot. But NDC, you set the bad precedent. We are accustomed rewarding people for bad behavior the people on the port expect you to take the position. The same way you support the teachers, they expect you to support them too. You can't support the teachers and don't support those on the port because they're following your directive, your mindset, your policy. People lead by example, they follow you. Most of the people on the port is NDC supporters, your supporters, more your supporters, because they realize that is your policy. That is your strategy. You will support them when they do wrong thing. Master Carl, I hope you could compound.
Speak a little bit and it will take a break here and then come back.
Okay, all right, take care. Take care.
We wish to
You give
interrupt
a
this
lot,
program
many
in
people
order
they
to bring
settle.
you this special bulletin. This is your Christmas radio station, Real FM. Ho, ho, ho!
This is right.
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an X-car and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with my wheels, take deck, computer, air conditioned cylinder. With much new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize.
They say the new driver only will lead.
Yes. Good afternoon, folks. And again, this evening, bear with me a bit. I had a little attack with the cold, with the flu gates.
Bad, you know.
Yeah, but I manage it.
I still have it in a kind of way.
Yeah. So Real FM gates, being the People's Parliament, because we are the constituency of Grenada. And me and KB and Gates and others being the people's spokesman. Real FM being the oasis for information gates. We have to strip this port and strike right down to this last autumn, so people could understand why is that play. The fact that the National Democratic Congress, its acolytes and disciples, is trying to blame the strike on Dr. Mitchell. Tell yourself they're in trouble, KB. You're saying Dr. Keith Mitchell, along with Andre Lewis, Chester Humphrey, and others. They have all kind of paraphernalia and pamphlet out. So that tells you they're trying to defend KB. Anytime you see that happening, KB, anytime you go in court and the prosecution put a weakness up, and then the defense cross-examine the weakness, and you see the prosecution had to go back and ask questions, the prosecution in trouble. And we believe here at Real FM, he who allege must prove.
Yes.
So KB, I will say the thing. Who the cap fit, they go draw the string. But first, I like to be analytical and factual. So I go read a statement, because I don't want people to believe I'm making up nothing. So if they have any issue with what the statement say, go to the authors of those statements. November 20th, 2022, the Grenada Ports Authority, GPA, and the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, GTAW, have reached a settlement of the dispute that resulted in workers at the Port St. George's taking industrial strike action over the past week. The parties arrived at a negotiation settlement facilitated by the Minister of Legal Affairs, Labor and Consumer Affairs, and Attorney General Senator the Honorable Claudette Joseph, and Labor Commissioner Ms. Valerie Thomas. The highly anticipated resolution, here and listen the language, KB. The highly anticipated resolution should see all workers immediately return to work and the speedy restoration of services. Because you see, this present administration, he has some words associated with them.
Like
anticipated resolution, restoration. So when you read those things, you know who is the author and who write them and what is the intention. The Labor Minister, Joseph, expressed gratitude for the cooperation and honest effort in working towards an amicable resolution of the matter. The minister noted, however, that it was unfortunate the dispute escalated to the most extreme form of industrial action as a first response and before the dispute resolution mechanism contained in the collective bargaining agreement between the parties was triggered. Very interesting. I'll get back to the KB. Premature and extreme industrial action does not promote good industrial relations. It negatively affects the prospect of an amicable solution of dispute and creates unnecessary financial hardship on ordinary people. They not remember ordinary people, but they didn't remember the school children and them. Government thanks the public, especially those directly impacted by the events, for your patience and understanding. Ministry of Legal Affairs and Labor of Consumer Affairs. Now, the information from the port, KB, that an investigation was concluded. And upon the findings of the investigation, so they could go and read it, fact check it, go and read the statement from the port. Upon the finding, it was decided to take action against the individual. So upon the finding, so the port one didn't get up
and send home
and just send. Upon the findings,
person do something wrong.
Hold on. Upon the findings, KB, and the union and Mr. Andrew, why name?
Andrew Lewis.
Not Andrew Lewis, man. Andrew Lewis Union and the man who was acting at Prime Minister at the time, a good friends, man. And to get his name good. Minister Andrew.
Yes.
Andrews, I stand correctly. Yeah. Had some discussion, you know, and agreed to take back the worker after the court found that worker wanting. The investigation, KB, found the individual wanting. The acting Prime Minister at the time, and I guess he must get directive from the Prime Minister.
It was.
Went with the union and agreed with the union to take back and they put to take back the worker after she was found wanting. Or he or she. I don't know, he or she was found wanting. To agree to take back the worker. But the union and them do go in and talk to the government to take back the liquor workers, and then they make it in go in Carriacou and other places. They do go in and talk to the people and to take back those workers. But one worker on the port, they had agreement. And the acting Prime Minister then agreed with the union in principle that he go send a letter where they go take back the person. My question is, why are they afraid to take action against that person. Who they covering up for? Because information is out there to suggest, and just out of the abundance of caution, KB, I will say it is alleged that over $800,000 could be in that fiasco. Who is the Minister of Labor and others trying to cover up for? Information is out there. The same GDB they beat up on when Dr. Keith Mitchell said we will create a facility for the same workers. They say they go make permanent contract workers where they could have go and get loan at very, very, very concessionary interest rate and thing. There's information to suggest, it is alleged, that a government minister wants to approach or has approached or could approach the same place where they beat up on for money. So who taking back the worker? Who they covering up for? And that is what they need to tell the Grenadian public, KB. They need to tell the Grenadian public first. One, who they covering up for. They need to tell the Grenadian public that they not recognize that when you have a impasse, you don't just run and take strike like what they advocate for the teachers. They need to tell the Grenadian public they realize now that encouraging people to take strike when in opposition is a bad thing. So they're trying to blame Dr. Keith Mitchell. Now hear what they say, he don't say nothing. But Dr. Keith Mitchell is a wise statesman. He know now is not the time for him to say nothing on the matter. Let the matter take its course. He not doing like how the National Democratic Congress used to do and encourage anarchy and chaos. Yeah. He not doing that. He taking the moral high ground. He letting the relevant people make the decision, not like how they used to do. Going and walk the road with people in hot sun and take strike. So they now realize, KB, that you have a procedure before you strike. When the teachers think, they didn't realize that. They didn't tell the teachers that. And all of them is legal-minded people, you know. So they should know. They didn't tell any teachers that, KB. KB. No. The National Democratic Congress have been inciting the Grenadian public. He who alleged must prove, and here goes. The present Prime Minister told people, watch, when you vote, go back in the line and hold space for people when you know under the election laws that is improper. And nobody say nothing. All the bright people with the briefcase and certificate, they clap. But since from ball one, the present Prime Minister show what he's about. KB, he say, when you don't vote, go back in the line and hold space for people. Nobody does say nothing. It was Dr. Keith Mitchell, I say that they out with the sticks and bones and stones. So KB, yes. So that the first part and the whole thing when you put things. So who
they covering up for?
By taking back
this worker,
you
are rewarding.
Who are you covering up for?
That worker has some information.
That is the question you must answer. And hold on, KB. And because you, Prime Minister, say that you're operating on a need-to-know basis with information, the nation need to know who you're covering up for. Why you influencing people? And when you find you didn't have any way, you start to blame the union and align in Chester, Dr. Keith Mitchell and others, when you fully well know.
These people
So the crux of the matter here, Igwe, who, by the present action in this matter, who are they covering up for?
You'll find out, don't worry.
You was in your tongue hall.
Yeah.
You seen all kind of thing. You're practicing leadership by avoidance. We go get to that today. You're practicing leadership by avoidance. The crux of the matter, KB. And KB, what is instructive here? Because after receiving the information, KB, I took my glasses off and I put my Marco knob on. And KB, what I found? School children
They don't
in
stop.
tongue, not school children in tongue.
They talking.
Say the director of public prosecution advised
Deport.
and gave instruction on that matter. And the solution arrived at now. The information suggests that is not the solution he advised. Who are you covering up for?
Must be evidence.
Because, and I'm drawing parallel here now because I'm making my case. He who alleged must prove. I don't just making statement here. Because he was in the town hall, KB, and he said, yeah, evidence. And he'll bring it to the relevant authority in soon time. So why, when the relevant authority, the one who decides who has the prerogative in greater as to who should be prosecuted and who's not,
The DPP?
simply matter what happened with the boat.
Yeah.
And Mr. Hood get vexed with him because he say, you know, thinking that. Did they heed the next question, KB? After I ask, who are you covering up for? The Grenadian people want to know.
If the DPP say charger.
Hold on. Now we have to be careful what we say, KB.
Yeah.
We want to know if the DPP gave instruction on that matter. And if yes, what was the instruction given? Because you make all kind of song and dance in your rally in the trade center and everybody will woo and they clapping. Now is the crux of the matter.
The country laws.
So when we talk about leadership, and when we on Real FM tell you character and pregnancy cannot be hidden, and when we tell you here, Gates, the present administration is woefully inadequate, no institutional knowledge, very low, as a Guyana dollar. Argans KB told me an inexperienced mash up the whole revolution which this government praising. And they falling victim to the same thing what happened in the revolution. So the first question is, who are you covering up for? And whilst you're at it, did the DPP give any instruction or advice on this matter? And if so, Gates, what was the advice and the instruction on this matter? And then when we get to that, you go understand what is going on here. And we're talking about, and KB, and I tell you, KB, anytime I listen to people, I listen for the language, I connect in the dots.
School children say follow the money. You know?
Not only the money, you know. Listen it.
To follow the
Listen.
money. I listening.
We in class today.
Yeah, learning.
We in class today. So the present Prime Minister tell people, after you're done vote, stay in the line, you know that was wrong, but he tell people still. He encouraged people to curse by saying, take susu and stretch out the mic to the crowd. And Gates, the present Prime Minister, as he came into office, he said, watch, the ministers, KB, don't working for enough money. So you want to give them money because he said to avoid corruption. So are we seeing corruption at play here? This is the question. It begs the question here. Is it an attempt to cover corruption? I'm asking. I don't know. Are we seeing in this instance on the Port KB? Is it an attempt to cover for somebody? Is it an attempt to cover corruption? Because he say, and his words are all thing in my own words, and bringing my suggestion, I only using his words because I allege her to make my case. He say, watch, the salary is woefully inadequate. If you want good representation, you have to pay good. If you want cheap government, you pay cheap. But if you want to avoid corruption, better real or perceived, you have to pay them both. Hold on.
Yeah, go on.
So are we seeing real corruption here or perceived corruption?
You don't want check bunks.
No. But the school children on the WhatsApp telling me.
You don't want check bunks. You don't want bunks that check the bunks check.
But I'm talking there and I'm getting info.
So when I come here, KB, I don't come to play with them.
No, man.
I come to give the people the information necessary, relevant.
I hope
Because,
Bunks check.
Bunks are check do involve.
but because KB, listen the utterances of the Prime Minister. You know. You don't reach in thing here to tell people to do a wrong thing, go back in the line, election. Then you say about corruption. You have to pay money.
Guyana dollar. That check spoiled.
800,000.
Then you went down in the trade center in your rally. After you embarrassed Ron Redhead, you set out a litany of accusations. And then the next day, people found it woefully inadequate. As how the union put it, manifestly certified false. Untruth. So, KB, what are we seeing here? So, KB, my heart goes out, KB, to the traffickers.
Of course, yeah.
I'm sorry for them.
My heart goes out even to this entity here because of the industrial action on the port. There was an event that had to be cancelled to another day because of that. So my heart goes out.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to Nani in Rosehill.
Yeah, man. You say Nani,
Nani, I feel your pain.
But
But the question is, why are you continuing to allow people to be punished? And KB, and the travel king, what's all that going on? He put it ain't too bad going in Friday. Not a governing function he going.
wobbling.
Saying about transformation, but he don't transform anything down here for the traffickers. Traffickers them have to, through blood, sweat, and tears, they struggle on. So KB, two big questions here, KB. One, who you covering up for?
was interested.
The second one, is it real corruption or perceived corruption? And the next one gets, did the director of public prosecution, did he give any advice or instruction on that matter? And if so,
Yes.
what do you think? Because the Prime Minister said we operate and I need to know.
Yes.
So the nation need to know.
Yeah.
The nation need to know, Mr. Prime Minister, if any instruction was given by the director of public prosecution. The one who has the priority and he alone to decide who should be prosecuted and not prosecuted in a state of grain. So you need to satisfy the nation, Mr. Prime Minister, on those things. Who are you covering up for? And what is so vulgar, KB, and shameless and bold-faced? They aligning Dr. Keith Mitchell with the striking. And I will say something
Diversion
here.
tactics.
And I will say something here. And some NNP go vex with me, but I had to say it. And I'll sit down there, all the NNP, and I don't say nothing. They beating up on Dr. Keith Mitchell about the strike, and I don't say nothing. But I was quick to congratulate them for paying retroactive. Congratulations to the government for paying retroactive. But they beating up on Dr. Keith Mitchell about the strike for thing you don't know about, and none of all don't say nothing. I waiting until Massacre and KB have to come and defend Dr. Mitchell again. Why? Are you afraid them?
A lot of them afraid.
So why are you quick to say
God.
congratulations or retroactive payment? Some of I don't even know why you're saying pension. But when they're beating up on Dr. Keith Mitchell, I remain mute. Like, I have hands on your lip. I have mouth zip. And then it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. Because the same thing, you was in your slumber. And as KB say, we handed the thing over to the men on a platter. So the men them doing what they have to do. Because we allow this thing to happen. We need to wake up. As Ajamo say, come go. Wake up. Because this thing is not only that, KB. And KB, I man, I believe in the scripture. And the scripture say, KB, the love of money, not liking money or money, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I will tell you why I say it, KB, because I don't like to just make blanket statements. So the pension thing happen. And Dr. Keith Mitchell outlined the way forward. But the present Prime Minister come and say, I will pay money, even though I have to learn it. So you vote for him because the love of money, KB.
Well,
so what happening now to the 500 workers who are lose their work since this government come? Because of the love of money, KB, the root of all evil.
The rest of them afraid to lose their work too, so they don't say no.
So KB,
they're afraid.
so you see, I had to agree with you and put the thing in its proper perspective.
Some they covering up for somebody.
The questions.
Who they covering up for?
So now they only know strike is at.
Yeah.
When people had to stay home and don't go to work with the children when they decide, when they turn their back on the teachers. When the hour come and they walking out on the student and got ideology, they don't care if they fight and kill one another. The National Democratic Congress didn't realize striking was a bad thing.
Support them.
They never realized that. I support them. Are you walking up and down with them? No. As KBC. The cows finally come back home.
Chicken come home to roost.
All you talking about them. And I like to quote them because in all fairness, I like to be fair to them. I don't think premature and extreme industrial action does not promote good industrial relationship like they know London.
When the teachers make that,
so it take all you a few months to learn that.
When the teachers
I already know that.
When the teachers did, why did
I already know it negatively affect the prospect of an amicable solution. When I light in Masanto by people's house and they unload Hill and saying who must go. I didn't know it create unnecessarily financial hardship to ordinary people. So here what happened, KB. So the strike on the port, and I warn you about the AG and being woefully inadequate for the portfolios. So the strike on the port, you realize, and I don't want to misquote them, KB, because I want to be fair. He said it creates unnecessary financial hardship on ordinary people. KB. So what's all the 500 people who lose their work? It's not unnecessarily hardship on them. But one person, and maybe KB, maybe not even the one person on the put, the thing is maybe the person who you covering up for. More important than all the 500 people that lose their work, KB.
Bongsa check.
So KB, so they don't care about the ordinary people who are doing working since they come in government.
No, they're important. They're poor and vulnerable.
But you now know about dispute and ordinary people. Or they have to come better. Or they have to think it over, KB. And they have to think it again. Because everybody know.
Why they so concerned about covering up for Bongsa check?
I don't know what they're covering up for. School children go say, but I don't know. But I find this thing look like covering up to me.
Why they so concerned about protecting Bongsa check? Expose him.
So
School children say they covering for Andy.
we don't call them people naming a Gates. I tell you, we don't call him naming the parang. Who the cap feet, let it draw the string. The people know. I just want to say calling people are rich is a low blow because the people
One,
know.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yes,
11, 12,
yes,
13,
yes.
14.
They know.
All of them saying the same.
They know. And the same set of people know, Gates, that the new driver cannot drive him. Because a lot of them now wake up from the slumber. Because a friend of mine said, a lot of them left their voting finger on the shelf, KB. And the love of money. And KB, what is vulgar? And downright shameful. I have a lot of friends, KB, who believed they'd get money when he start to pay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One meet me yesterday in town. And he say, Master Calby, ashamed. I say, why? I say, he's a proud man. Oh, ashamed. He say, Master Calby. By the money start to pay and fellas like me don't get in nothing, you know. I see. Abracadabra. You see what I say? And for I say, well, you do believe in that? You do believe in David Copperfield? And that is the crux of the matter right now, KB. So when the President Prime Minister beating the chest about the payment of the retroactive gates, a lot of men and women what stain the finger for the cause. They start to watch on the ground and say, well, if I don't get any money, looking on the ground, I won't get people money. So even them men are not moving in people place with scandal bag and demanding money gates. These people are them vote for this thing and they realize, nah, they can't oppose the pension secretariat. So they was hoodwinking on KB. The love of money, KB, is the root of all evil. Take too much time to know what the situation is, KB. What's your what? I'll give you the last word on it, KB.
I tell you, Mr. Carl, I think the first casualty in NDC going to be Bongsa check. I feel very soon we have to prepare for a by-election. I don't think Bongsa check could survive. I don't think too much finger pointing. We are calling in, but Grenadian know who is Bongsa check.
I don't wish him
we don't call in the name, but I tell you, the first political casualty go be Bongsa check.
I
tell you, he would not survive.
This is my
too
government.
Much finger pointing and too much covering. Bongsa check can survive. Sure. Because they can't carry him any longer.
I don't give them no advice.
They can't carry him any longer.
All right, we go take some calls when we come back after the break, right?
Yeah.
All right, people, stay there.
This is
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an next car, and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi. Fitted with my wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned with cylinder. With posh new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize. They say the new driver cannot drive.
Hold the wheel. Don't speed too much, Ligwe. KB, I think we have a first caller. You want to take it?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen, how y'all do?
Fine. How are you doing?
Yes. I listen to the program and I feel very emotional.
Speak up a bit. We hear you low.
Yes, I feel very emotional. You hear
Why?
me now?
Why are you emotional, caller?
Well, not really. My heart goes out really to the traffickers, especially the women. I myself grew up. My mom was a trafficker, and I felt crying. And when I've seen and hearing, most of them, I listen to them on buses, I listen to them moving around, and my heart really goes out to them. And I don't know how or what ways and means that what could be done to assist them, but I know they're doing they're really putting out a lot. And these few days it wasn't easy. And people been calling all from abroad and asking, well, I hear the boat not come, and there's too much talk in the air. And I'm very happy that you've come up with those, information to provide it to the public because a lot of people just don't know, you know, and they're hearing it maybe the wrong side and nobody on the side of the traffickers. So I hoping and praying, you know, that I hear get some more information as what assistance that they're going to be getting to go on. It's going around the Christmas season. They have the children to look after. They have their livelihood. And I mean that somebody should listen and stop playing the game and throwing the game and pointing fingers at people and do the right thing to make sure that these traffickers, they get their livelihood started up again and moving on for the Christmas. Thank you. Have a good
Okay, thank you. Call it.
Uh-huh.
The numbers to call.
442-0175 and on the WhatsApp 442-0175. We have a call again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Miss
Miss
Jacob. How are you doing?
Yeah, you tell me call you every Sunday.
Yes, just call. Just let me hear your voice.
Just
We want to know that you're alive and well.
Only my voice you want to hear?
Yeah, but
Well, you want me to tell you things?
no, just
Once we know you're good, we good.
once you know you're good, we want to make sure you're okay. Yeah.
Well, last week I didn't have no gas to cook.
Oh, that was sad.
Well, you get
I
sorted
had
out.
gas and they had me water.
Okay, but you okay now?
That I quite good and proper. Quite good and proper.
Miss
So,
Jacob.
They
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
see they go throw me down. We
Yeah.
have a woman by me. She says she don't want to know. She's sorry I get food. She's sorry I get gas to cook. But she better watch it.
Don't worry, don't worry.
She better watch it.
Let it. Don't wish them
Don't
bad.
mind her there by the road. People don't tell me, don't come on there because you know, are they near the road? They could come and kill me too. And if they kill me in the morning, nobody know who do it.
Master Carl, show me where you're living. One day we'll pop in by you.
You show me?
Yeah.
Well, why he didn't come? That why didn't see him?
We were passing and he
Mhm.
said, Kibi, that is where Miss Jacob lives, that area. So next time we go St. George's, we'll pop in by you, Miss Jacob.
What are you doing, me?
Yeah, we're gonna come and look for
No,
you.
time was pressing on us.
Oh yes, but we'll come and look for you.
But the fact that we talk about it, we had you in thoughts.
So is it no matter every Sunday just call and say hello? We want to make sure you're alive.
Especially big up me Dr. Kit.
Oh yes, that's one
Brother
good thing
Brother
about
boy and brother Kit. Oh my God, it's like it have to see.
you.
And what's that? Lord Jesus, what a high.
If it's only that you
Make
have to say,
compliments for
we
February.
welcome you
The
because
compliment for February next year. Okay, hello?
Take care.
We go see.
Call
Thank
next
you.
week
Bye-bye.
again.
Love.
All
I'll
right.
call next week again. See, she and Kami always have a special
Who bunks in check?
spot for them.
Who bunks in check? Hello.
The public know. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good day.
How are you doing, Chief?
Yeah, well, Alibody walk off football, just come and listen to that,
Okay.
I watch it for us, and I think I'm mostly last
I
week, no
know.
program, and people say,
I know we're sorry
nobody
about last.
program, we are not
See,
last
We're
week.
sorry. Master Colin apologized for last week. We apologize.
Yeah, because I have to tell you, I got some people introduce some people to the program, and I say, but you tell me a program, and I listen, I don't hear nothing.
Okay.
So I say, so you need to
Sorry
just
about that.
inform us that when you have a program, you put a bulletin all over.
Okay.
New anthem.
Yeah, well, I did listen.
All right.
All right. Take care.
New anthem. Who bunks in check? Who bunks in check?
442
0175.
175 numbers to call. Call and express yourself.
Don't give me no old check
vent-
this year, no
ventilate,
KB. Don't
you
give me
know.
no bunksers.
Nah, you're getting
Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Goldar,
my dear lady, how you doing?
Dibwe, and Master Carl. Good afternoon to Grenada, Karakupidimati.
Come
Always
here.
listening in America, England, Canada. Yes, this is the People Parliament.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
You
ventilate,
know what you
ventilate.
have, you don't know what you go get. You know what you have, you don't know what you go get.
Sure.
But my heart goes out to the women into the hardworking women in this country. When I hear a lady from Success of the talk about And other friends I have at the buy me little sweet from. And I ask them, in the Muslim sister. It's hard, People, we Canadians, we are one. And now we're seeing what is going on to us as women. And as you say, Brother Carl, a lot of NNP go back to you. Nobody saying nothing now. They're not talking. I've been talking. I don't free. You understand?
Yeah.
They're hurting their friends getting hurt, their family getting hurt, and no one will say nothing. A bunch of hypocrites. Oh God, you and you see something going wrong in your country. You speak. You don't speak, you don't run, you don't bounce in checks, so you're not afraid.
Yeah.
You're not afraid.
Once you don't bounce check, you don't respect police.
NPI, you're not afraid to speak.
Come and talk.
You don't bounce in check.
All right.
Dr. Mitchell, good afternoon, sir. And you look very well.
General.
He was in church this morning and he's blessed.
Yes.
He's blessed. And the next thing I have to say, I know everybody cussing me, they want to fight with me, they want to tear down my clothes for Mitchell and NNP. He paved a way for us. I look at him, I get the money, so say thanks. He prepared us and good day.
But he's the real MVP.
You understand? And nobody's saying thanks. But God is good. He won the universe. I want to say good afternoon to everybody who's listening to me. Having some snap, a fried snap and dashing.
Yes, sir.
And bread fruit.
Right.
Yes.
And some lettuce and cucumber.
Right.
I still have food to eat. Miss Jacob, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, God is good.
Mm-hmm.
Have a blessed day listening.
All right, Cam.
We did.
Yes. This is someone with
I want a parang and bounce check.
Buffaloes.
Can we make a point, like KB?
I want a bounce check.
Dr. Kit Mitchell is the real MVP
General.
for the payments so happening right now.
General.
I want to see even NNP people busy to congratulate the government for paying it and do mentioning Dr. Kit Mitchell at all. It saddens me. He started the process. He ensured that he had money in the consolidated fund. And if we have time today, KB, I have to touch on the special pension.
Yeah.
Because now, this notion they're going about Dr. Kit Mitchell and thing, no government or no prime minister has done for pension what Dr. Kit Mitchell has done in this country, bar none. None. You have a call again, Gates?
Yeah, man, the line
Take it,
blazing,
let me
but
take.
I like to give you...
Let me take the call. Let me take some calls.
Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
How you guys doing?
Fine, fine.
We don't bounce in
No
check.
bounce check.
No bones check.
Understand? Now we playing this game with these bunch of people, because trust me, they want us to forget. They want us to be distracted. Pay pension. But who put pension in progress? NNP. Who had it in the budget in 2021? NNP. Yo, guys, you're doing a good job, eh? KB,
Aye.
you and Mr. Carl and Andre Igwe and all the supporters of this program, we need to come out more vocal. Let me call stations. Let me show them what's happening. I saw a post from a guy that said there was nothing happening in Grenada, like no accidents, nothing dangerous. And I'm condoning, and to all the people that lost family members, I am seeing a lot of strange things happening. No. A lot of strange things. Baby Jesus, oh my goodness. Come on, man, come on. Look what happened in the country. And you happening in Ghana, incident.
Stop with this
Robberies.
baby Jesus thing.
All kind of freak accidents. Come on. We in the country here. Dr. Mitchell was the power. And watch me. I will say this thing. I actually blaming Dr. Mitchell because I am very partial. He should have paid that pension before the election call. He should have paid. He should have paid. And that's my view. He should have paid. Don't get the that leverage, because that is using it. That's the only thing he's using. Not they saying, oh, NNP gave pension to, but Greeners work. Greeners is not NNP. How much was for NDC? How much was for NNP? Come on, we need to get our act together. Greeners belong to all of us. We have a political side. We can take our side. We have to take our side. But when one side is demonizing another side and preaching hatred for the other side and show peace and curse them and shun them and tell them march and having all kind of breakdown on public radio.
Yeah,
this nonsense again with. They need to stop it and watch me.
Somebody on the WhatsApp told me to tell you, dead man spirit room in Grenada.
Well, like I say, the person that they invoke, the prime minister they invoke, that did all good things and all bad things in the same life. I never heard Dr. Mitchell kill anybody or jail anybody.
Caller, you show to say that they invoke is not proper.
Now you could
They
say
no. They called on the spirit. Invoke is something different.
Okay.
They called on the spirit. Let me be factual. we don't being thing. They called on the spirit of Maurice Bishop.
They called on the spirit.
Yes.
Right? So, leave it alone. Lastly,
yeah,
they're traveling with their own spouses, significant other. And they go say, what? This minister in health or this minister in education, husband is this place and that place.
They forget value for money.
But they never travel together. And this guy, who is alleged to be with his significant other as a minister, it wasn't no professor, no SGU. So this guy that are you listening on the radio that begging for money, that Peter B. Woman. And
Amen.
Have a good day. Have a good day.
Amen.
Yes, you don't have to place no watch.
No. You have certain things you see. One might be aware of certain thing, but we remember we hear on a particular medium, eh?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Any more call?
That is
442
that we what see.
442-0175. This call.
I follow cut off on
Express yourself, ventilate. Is your program.
I want a Paragon box check.
Let's take a break.
I have some partner in Montreach.
Let's take a break.
All you singing Paragon, here we going. I want a Paragon box check. Who box in check? Or better call Lava. Let me Lava give me a tune and box check instead. Something more bad.
This is Christmas night.
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an air. We ordered an X-car and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with my wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned with cylinder. With posh new fittings, this maxi car arrives. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize. They say, the new driver cannot drive. Well, of the 33 chosen passengers, Ramnat, Pandey, Humphrey, and Sudama, they wouldn't let the poor driver drive in peace.
Driver shaky this wrongs.
Yeah, man.
Driver shaky. Them people are them asking. I get a message. They tell me to ask you. We Cornwall and Tellisford. They want to know.
Well, St. Patrick, is people looking for the Honorable Dennis Cornwall a while now?
He's searching for him.
No, you have a situation that has been making the news in recent times as relates to Russians and Grenadian citizenship and passport. There is an article out there where it suggests that due to the war with Russia and Ukraine, there is a process where you call drafting. So that a young, able-bodied person, they want to draft them into the Russian army. But those persons who have the parents and they could afford
Wealthy.
is trying to use the back door. Because Grenada enjoys among I think greater than 10 other countries or 9 other countries had this where you could apply for non-immigrant visa to the States. So
yeah.
it is believed or suggested that those Russians are trying to use Grenada citizenship and passport to do things. Now, we all know how the world operates and we're living in a global village, KB. No island is a one thing. Everything you do, it affects you. Just as how the AG say, when they talk about things, you say the IMF on us.
Yeah.
So I think we have to tread careful. How we dealing with these Russians and based on the implication of them using this facility. What you are, KB?
Yeah, but I understand approximately over 1,000 passport, was sold for the year already. Seems as though everybody rushing to get Grenada passport. But that is why I'm hoping that people like Tillman Thomas will come out and say something about the continued selling of our Grenada passport, because he's the one who always opposes it and say, hey, Dr. Mitchell is selling our patrimony to foreigners. And now, for the year, over 1,000 passports already sold to foreigners, and nothing is being said by the people who oppose it all over the years. Wonder what happened to their tongue, if it all of a sudden it become a good thing, because hey, I think the NNP had sold about 800 passport in the year before. Now they surpass the NNP target.
They just start to sell. They sell it more.
They surpass.
They're warming up.
The NNP had sold about 800.
But two things you have to
You
think
sell
of.
over 1,000 and something already.
It is interesting that you mentioned Mr. Tillman Thomas in this discussion. And there are some people who believe he is a good man and a man of morality and integrity and things. But he only speaks on things when it suits him best.
Yeah.
500 people may go without talking about it.
No, that don't concern it.
But the Prime Minister alleged faith organization, CJs, he talking about that.
Yeah.
So he only talks about things when it suits him. So at one time I used to say I'm calling on him for morality. I don't call it on him.
Yeah.
Because he proved himself not a genuine man with morality concern. He take money on his account.
Yeah.
But you want to beat up on the thing with the Polish issue. So he's not genuine. He only speaks when it suits him, when it makes him look good. So how you guys keep calling on him to say anything? I don't call on him to say nothing because I don't know what he's saying already. Only when it suits him, he go talk about it. So I can take he don't consistent and he don't have no moral compass to make me believe he's a man of morality when he only speaks on things when it suits him. And the record would bear me out on that. Because the same thing, the allegation of the Polish man unproven, but he could talk about it. The issue when he receive it on his own account, he don't talking about it. So then, how could you believe a man so when he talk KB? Yeah. What a man so could tell you? When he sit down there and he watch over 500 people do walk in, and he says nothing, and the Prime Minister come and talk something out faith-based, which could be easily calculated, he make a talk about it. So you have to know you're serious.
And he would say nothing.
So KB, me don't wasting time to call on him to say nothing. There's nothing he could say on morality. So he has proved himself not so.
Any caller?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello?
Hey, good day.
Good, how are you doing?
Yeah, Carl. Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Yeah, good after KB.
How are you doing, Chief?
Carl and Igwe.
Yeah, man.
Igwe, now you're speaking about it in immorality. And I always say morality and treating morality, integrity, and righteousness. These three things work together. And if you want to be someone with morality, you have to condemn all injustice. If your child did something wrong, you cannot condone it. You cannot accept it. And when someone do something wrong, and say you may get some allegation about someone, you don't know if it's true, but you want to come and talk about that corruption. I consider people who operate this way, they have no moral, no morality. right? If you someone who is there with morality, you must self-righteousness, and must be someone with integrity. I always say the word of God say righteousness exalts a nation and Caesar refer to every man. So no matter you like somebody and you hate the person, if you like the person and do the wrong thing, you have to condemn the wrong thing they do to others. You don't like someone and they did something, you also condemn it. You can't praise one when they do wrong. And when you hear something about someone, you don't have no facts. We already commented about corruption. And you see the people talk about corruption. I ask the person if they forget what they did when they put a certain amount of money in their bank account without the general secretary knowing about it. Right? And Mr. P, I said the question again. The amount of workers that sent home, and so 3 or 4 workers from the port. I never heard the union came and talk anything about they care about the poor people. But something happened in the pay, they were covered and strike and have a kind of thing. And right now, Mr. KB, Carl, check Wong Senior high and low. High and low. Check up and down. Right? So how about it?
I want a tune called Bounce Check.
No. But KB, you see, we need to put this thing into perspective. Yeah? And the gentleman in question, Mr. Thomas, the ex-prime minister.
Tilo.
Every time a conversation comes up around a lot of people, on the grounds of morality and others, they seem to say they don't hear Mr. Thomas. No, Mr. Thomas received the money in the account. KB, you say when you check him on it, he tell you he forget the other account, only the account he could have received. Didn't he tell you that?
Yeah, he tell me to remember the party.
Mr. Thomas was the Prime Minister of Grenada.
Mm.
Mr. Thomas was the Prime Minister of Grenada for 4 years, 7 months, and 19 days. And he presided over Gates. Don't laugh. That is not no laughing matter, Gates. Don't laugh.
Sorry.
No, man. Don't laugh that thing. That's a serious thing. I don't want nobody feel like trying to belittle them. I just speaking the facts. Don't laugh.
All right, go on.
Mr. Thomas was the Prime Minister of Grenada for 4 years, 7 months, and 19 days, KB. And he presided over the total dismantling of the Imani program, making all young people go home. So KB, why are you think he's a man who speak on morality? Why are you still believe he could speak on morality when that is his antecedents?
He do good.
He was the Prime Minister when they make all the Imani go. He was the Prime Minister when they reduce on the gang, on the debushing, the amount of people reduce the money and make them stay until 12 o'clock.
He do good.
So how come I don't believe he's a man who go talk on morality? That it confuses me. Because if he's a moral guru, moral champion, as people believe, and under his watch, these things happening, okay? How? I don't know who are 19 moral thing, but okay, what I know, the moral man always know what to do, but it takes the ethical man to do it. The moral man go tell you all what should do, but it takes a man with ethics to do what should be done. So, you don't hear me? I stop calling him on morality because I realize he take inside. And anytime man take inside in thing is problem.
It's problem.
When he do good, he do good.
He do good. He do good.
Take inside.
Yeah.
You watch all kind of thing happen. You watch men take $2,000 just so without working. You don't say nothing. You watch them making people go every week. You don't say nothing. A man come and talk about faith-based and thing. You do on thing talking about it. And people saying he's a moral man in my book. Nah, KB. No. I don't charge him with no moral responsibility in Grenada. If he had that authority once, he has since relinquished the post.
Is what people perceive.
Yep. Yeah, what they perceive, but they have to know. Now, KB, we have some things happening in this country.
Any more call?
No.
Okay. KB, we have some things happening in this country.
Yeah.
So allow me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Leadership matters. And now, KB, anytime I make me pronouncement on them, real leadership, I doesn't just make them fly by night, I just bring things to back it up. So now we have the present Prime Minister, our Prime Minister. I'll take him because he's the leader of the country. So I'm a citizen here. I was born here, I grew up here, I bred here, so I could speak on that. It's not, I'm not speaking about NDC and NNP, no, I'm speaking about the Prime Minister of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. He's practicing leadership by avoidance, KB. And when I say that, I'll explain. No. Everything's that happening in Grenada where the present Prime Minister feel he could look good, he does it by himself, KB. Case in point, strike on the port, he leave and go overseas. They're not, you don't think in that. And port instability or strike on the port is an issue that fall right under a portfolio. And two of them, you know, finance, money, and national security. You leave it for your good friend, Mr. Andrews, and to deal with. Leadership by avoidance. No. The debushing program 824, he don't say it for himself. He let me Honorable Dennis Cornwall say it. Cutting the budget for Imanis, he don't say it for himself. He let the Honorable Ron Redded say it. The big two, permanent and pension, he don't say it for himself. He let Senator Claudia Joseph say it. Crime in the country. People walking in a place with scandal bag and demanding money. He don't talking about it. And that falls under the Ministry of National Security. Well, I talk about the port already. 500 workers, since he come, they don't walk in again, they don't have money to get, and they're making more go. He don't say nothing about it. And he's the leader of the country. Instability, which is a direct correlation with crime, we just explain here. And because of all that the crime raising, nobody can tell me otherwise. What you notice, KB, as the retroactive payment started to me, he had there on news conference.
Die way bad.
Yeah.
You understand?
You want to be like
looking good.
You want to be like
and then they saying how the Honorable Deacon Mitchell pay pension, he don't pay pension, the consolidated fund or pay pension. Not him. Not him money. You understand? So he was up front and center in that. Making them promises on the campaign. He had making them to look good. Pension, permanent, he go trap seaweed, he go cap freight, he go take out VAT, he go build 500 houses, he go build swimming pool and the baby of them all, Grand Lake. Whilst poor people, children catching in there and KB, they're making people go. Cost of living, holding people by the eyeball. But he's studying Grand Lake losing money. And he removed the 25% non-fuel charge. So there's a pattern with the Prime Minister. Leadership by avoidance. The issues that affect most Grenadians. The debushing, the Imani, the wardens. Anytime bad news has to come, it's not from him. Although these things are them under right up here under his portfolio. But anytime he come to grandstand, it's him. So you see what happened, KB? Town hall meeting. When the union say manifest is certified false, bravando.
Lie again.
The human asked run a question. He tell the next man answer. So that is the crux, or that is the character of the Prime Minister. So when I speak, I'm not speaking about him in his personal capacity. I talk about him in his capacity as Prime Minister of his country. So when I say leadership matters, it does. KB, poor people, children catching in. Everybody bawling about Grand Lake electricity charge going up. And at the same time, he remove it. But KB, understand this and know this. When WRB was the majority shareholder in Grand Lake KB, the present Prime Minister was offering legal advice to WRB. Facts.
Yes.
There's information to suggest that the NNP administration would have approached WRB as it relates to cost of electricity and working out a particular formula. But the Honorable Prime Minister was the legal advisor and he boasting how he win the government. So he never was for the people, KB.
No.
He never will be for the people. And he's not presently for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So KB, so let me look at this thing. I like to break down the thing to the simplest atom, Igwe.
Mm-hmm.
He offered legal representation or legal advice to WRB. They refused to agree with the NNP administration on working out a formula so that electricity costs could go down. Facts. Matter end up all about who claim victory. Because they like to claim victory. Eh? It's a claim victory because success have a lot of fathers. Things happen. Grand Neck returned to the control of the government and the people of Grenada. And as soon as that happened, people ball electricity costs going up. And in the last budget, measures was put into place. And as we on budget, he termed the last budget a tokenism election budget.
Yeah.
But the same election budget leave money for you to pay retroactive for you to jump up. So I want to see the one you're coming with. Because it was tokenism and election budget. But he leave you money to pay now and you're waiting on VAT on the 20th maybe to address the rest. But you say remove VAT for 12 months. I tell you, you're playing dumb, you don't know what's going on. So okay, check this. So Dr. Keith Mitchell and the NNP give this 25% on non-fuel charges to help the consumers who born in under 500 kilowatts or 5,000 thereabouts. Stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as the man told Prime Minister, take it out.
Yeah.
What is he fighting for? Or fighting against for WRB?
Protect them.
As he come, he take it out, you know. Whose interest the man serving?
Protect them.
Not the people.
The big boys.
Because the small people, what was reaping the benefits
of
the 25% non-fuel charge. So he slammed the brakes on the small people again. Yeah. And when I say the new driver cannot drive, they wonder in what I'm saying. These are the empirical facts. And I want them to dispute me, KB, and tell me it's not so. They're calling for debate and all kind of things. I want them to come and say it's not so. I want them to come and say it's not so. But check how he's seeing Lord Grand Lake, KB, at the expense of all the small people in Grenada. He take out the 25%, he slam the bricks on that and them man. Put people children shelter in rain and the shop. He refused to give them a job. He passed them straight and pick up Grand Lake.
Yeah, man.
He passed school children, poor people school children, shelter in rain and the shop gates.
Mm-hmm.
He passed them straight and he pick up Grand Lake.
Big boy.
So when I was asking here, KB, whose interest would the man represent? KB, you see how crystal clear it is? Yeah. And by his own utterances, I was in, not making up or fabricating.
But we want them before election. Whose interest will they seek? We always ask them that. You go in and vote. Whose interest these people will seek? Now, we face with a runaway inflation.
The NNP administration went to WRB and said, bro, let's work out a formula.
Yeah.
So it could ease the pain and the burden. Mm-hmm. As he come and take it out. Who you representing? Not poor people or poor people children. Let's take that call, guys. Good afternoon, call.
Afternoon.
Hey.
Hello.
Afternoon, Gary.
Carry boys.
How you doing, Chief?
A long time I didn't give you a call, boy, because your line was so busy.
All right.
Well, I want to thank you and Master Call for a good program because a lot of people told me they just realizing the new driver cannot drive. They didn't know. I am saying I have been one of the longest serving political activists in St. Patrick. And I could tell you, I have evidence to prove that this government don't know where they're heading.
They playing dummy,
Someone
don't
asked
know.
me a while ago if the gentleman come from poor parentage, because all he's doing is fighting the poor people. So I don't know if you all have any idea. You could help me. Somebody just asked me if the man parents is poor people. I don't know, because he's fighting the poor. Look, in my shop, the $1 bag, a little child put in $100 grocery in it right now. $100 fitting in a dollar bag. And a little child could work with it one long time. You have to get boxes to put it, not now, you know. A little plastic bag taking $100 grocery now. This is what you have to check on for the poor people. Instead of boasting, they pay pension, they pay gratuity, and they boasting they pay pension, and planning to cut the e-money budget. I want to know where that $75 million coming from when he had us to be 60. That's the cost of the matter. He had us to be 60 million at the end of November. Now I hear it's 75.
They can't count.
Where the cash flow coming from?
They can't
Now we
count.
have a cash flow. All right, but I'll give somebody a chance.
That's an important point you
Wow.
make. The cost of living and the cost of goods in the shop.
A dollar bag is
The $100
Well, KB.
cannot spend.
KB, you told me you went in a shop.
Yes.
And what happened to you?
Yes, because after I called about 4 pieces of, grocery, I suggest to my partner, I said, that's about $50. He said, no.
80.
When it counted, 48. You can imagine. 4 pieces.
We have a next call. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm listening to the program. I'm enjoying it. But something that is hitting me is that the scene on the port, what happened on the port. A lot of NNP people don't understand it. That's why we don't get a lot of NNP people coming out and speak about it, because a lot of them don't understand what went on the port. I mean, they were bombarded with a lot of propaganda where people telling them Dr. Mitchell is this and that about it. We understand that is a lie. But a lot of people doesn't understand the real facts, what happened on the port. They want to know why that person was arrested. A lot of people don't know why that person is being fired. Not arrested, but fired. Or asked to go home. And the message is what baffling a lot of people. So a lot of people want to know what really happened on the port. So that's why you find a lot of the NNP people not speaking up about what happened on the port.
All right, caller. That's your point?
Yeah, that's my point.
All right, thank you.
No, it is a fact that information and so what really takes place on the port is not out there. Simple, just a summary. There was an investigation was held into what they believe was some improper dealings on a particular individual. And the port, after the findings of those information, believed that they had enough grounds to terminate the person's employment. However, the union thought otherwise, and we must not forget it. And they keep talking about NNP and Dr. Kit Mitchell. That matter started since in the NNP time. When the police stepped in to do the investigation, you had a strike already, okay? And they didn't say nothing wrong about the strike then. With the same matter, before the election, they said nothing. The Congress said nothing. They didn't say the strike bad for nothing. We must never forget that. But now the strike bad for everything, and they're trying to label Dr. Kit Mitchell. Let's take the call.
Hello. Hello, afternoon.
Afternoon, Kevin.
How are you doing, Chief?
The first quarter in next year, that Prime Minister handing down and people can take the country. See, I tell you, first quarter in next year.
All right.
Things going, I know that man can handle, and he do have a good relationship with the ministers and them.
Mhm.
So he's forcing a point. He's forcing a point. All of them in a bag like a crumbling set of crabs. So you have to worry about them. Don't worry.
Okay,
Time
Carl.
is-
KB, I always like to make mention of the fact, and I'm proud, I was proud to do it, and I am not ashamed of my grandmother. You know. She say KB, she tell me KB at time, watch. What's sweet in
Good
good
mouth,
mouth?
those
And no,
soil.
no, I don't say it. That's much I go say. She tell me what's sweet in good,
Good
mouth,
mouth. Yeah.
those sour.
Mm-hmm.
And we seen that in KB.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, KB, we here say, when they say pass the ball, we never say the ball shouldn't be passed, KB. But our question was, to who? And still like my same question. Pass the ball to who? And we seen that now, KB. KB, where you want to go today now?
We have a next call.
Let's take the call.
Hello?
Yeah, come back in there. The way you always laughing.
Yeah.
As if but no, this is
I can't take them
matter, you know.
serious. I can't take them
You
serious,
always
Camille.
laughing. I just be better vexed, you know. I serious matter in Grenada, you know. The way I on the ground, you know. I on the ground. And I'm meeting all kind of people. People even coming from abroad and come and look for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say good afternoon to Mr. Snag from Montreal. He's listening in Canada right now. These people listen to us. And when they come to Grenada, they come and they pass and they say, look, they're listening to us. And this is serious matter in Grenada. A lot of us that sit back there and we're not saying anything, they're shame, they feel bad. They're not speaking out, but it's hard time. I mean, the reality is real. It is real. And that's serious business, you know. They're talking about the person, how the thing starts on the port. This thing, as I hear people say, school children say, since in an MP time they had this thing going on. And now they send this was no. Because school children say about bunks checking. They said, all them involved in certain things. So it's a horse house. But the truth will come out because there is a God above. I believe in God, you know.
Yeah.
I don't worry about man getting on with, you know. I believe in God, you know. I believe in the Creator, you know, that the one of the universe, you know. And God is testing us. And things happening. A lot of things happening is look, killing and thief. Police come begging you know how to save your house. And they're sad. You can look at their face, you can see the stress. And these police officers, they're in the media and you're speaking. People just, they're ashamed because they want to go to work tomorrow morning. They want to have a smile on their face. But inside, pressure. That's serious thing. Serious. I'm bright like some of y'all, you know. But I on the ground and I know. Even somebody say NDC supporters, some of them speaking out what they know. And you can see them walking with the grievance and the weight of Grenada. We need to pray for our country. We need to love each other and stop his hate. And the things that do like that wickedness to start to send people home. But all the guys now we think from Jai, Rastafari. That is wrong. Can't leave people suffer. Every one of the ministers, from the Prime Minister and all the rest of ministers that is there from the new government is poor people, children, they don't have time. Give me a break. You can't do me nothing. Nothing. I will speak for my rights in this country. This is where I'm born. Grenada. I will speak as long as things is not right. I know I will deal with me when I see me on the street, but I'm afraid. I'm Grenadian to my bones. Have a blessed day listening.
Bless up.
Master Carl.
Who bunks in check?
Master Carl. What we getting for Christmas from the NDC is high cost of living, runaway inflation, high utility bills, high unemployment, victimization, strike, and increase the crime rate. That we get for Christmas?
That the win on them they have. Why they make this big thing
That
about
is the
accomplishments
talk around the dinner table.
Read it again, KB. Let people hear.
high cost of living,
Facts.
runaway inflation,
Facts.
high utility bills,
Facts.
high unemployment,
Facts.
victimization,
Facts.
strike, and increase in the crime rate.
Facts. All is true.
That is what you
That
are
is
giving
the
us for
reality.
Christmas.
That's the reality. That they have to offer.
The new driver cannot drive.
We have a next call. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Lieutenant.
Hey, my dear fellow.
Lieutenant.
Are you in, Chief? I hear you.
Yeah, Master Carl, Igwe.
We did.
Mr. Watts, Bonnie, Lloyd, big up. I be that people who listen in America.
Yeah, man.
But listen, I hear a man making a statement earlier on at them. World boss should have paid the money before election. What a man thinking? Look at the time the court passed the ruling. You need an election, you know. Election going on, people, this thing have to organize, you have to put things together to pay. And the man say, when you go pay, the man forgetting world boss is the man that bring pension on the table out. Yeah? They forgetting world boss is the man who bring pension on the table.
Like how you're calling him world boss.
And people was getting pension before the court come out. The Armstrong thing, that was pension, you know. The diabolical pension. What they bring down and bluffing, that is retroactive, you know. As you say in math all the time. Why they mixing up retroactive pay with pension? Why? Trying to fool the fools. With people like me on the ground. When I go out and deal with NDC people now, my topic is on retroactive pay and pension, you know. Don't tell me they can pay in pension. That in a pension that you have to pay. Don't tell me that. I mean, I ain't going to college. At least school when I was 15.
Wow.
But politically, like world boss, tell me boss one, you see what? Boss man, you see the man moving with it? That man is a political scientist, you know. I can't talk politics with that man. That man don't know what to say. You understand? So a man can really think about, world boss should have paid the money before election. Oh, why you gonna pay? You have to have confrontation, you have to talk to people, like you call on the unions. Let's come together and do that thing. We must. The AG and them come here and say the same thing, the Prime Minister and saying the same thing. How you could say the man wicked and come here and say the same thing the man saying? Come on, NMPX, man. Big up on yourself, man.
Yeah.
Come on and speak out. Come on and speak out the truth.
No.
Big up yourself, Lieutenant. Yeah, man, big up yourself.
Bless.
No, in terms of the retroactive KB, one has to understand those things take time, it's a process. The pension secretariat would have to gather the information after the ruling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister then, Dr. Mitchell, say, okay, we have this committee will report to us in 3 months. Stick up in 3 months. The present Prime Minister say you'll pay 90 days, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing was being said.
Motion
But they believed one person, as you know what happened in Bible time, they believe Barabbas over Christ. Same thing what happened there.
I need to ask you one more question before we're still on the port. Could the port take that individual to court? Would he allegedly cut into wrongdoing?
I don't know. I don't want to say thing that is not thing here. I'll go find out and answer that question, KB.
Okay.
KB, that is KB, if you understand, I ask a particular question only.
Yeah.
And maybe you didn't understand why I ask it. I ask if the director of public prosecution gave advice or instruction on the matter, and if yes, what it was.
Okay.
Same thing you're asking, the same question I ask.
KB, school children just tell me Tillman that are working in the AG office. So we understand now why he behaving how he behaving. We have a call on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gary,
Hey, what's happening to you now?
I'm looking for you yesterday. I don't see you.
I was kind of busy yesterday. I had a service vehicle I have.
Okay. Well, day I sit there and passing wrong, you know, like
Yeah.
walking around, you hear a lady. When I reach by a lady, she say, girlfriend, I have some nice thing, you know, buy it. I laugh. I say, right now, today, the $2 we have, you know, we can't buy clothes, food we have to buy.
Yeah.
So she say, girl, the thing hard, you know. So I still come and kind of laugh again. She say, that look like a laughing there. If it doesn't matter what thing you support in, if the thing bad, say bad.
Yeah.
I say, well, you don't see bad. She say, yes. The thing real bad. They don't watch and say, oh, the thing bad. The thing real bad. I still don't answer. I'm laughing still. I tell you, Kennedy, the thing is now, right now, what we hate, that's what we like. This is the same thing when Dr. Mitchell calling them up. Let we organize and have an organization and let we could pay the little money. Chaos and vexing us and they matching. They don't want to hear, they don't want to hear. You see the same thing today? What goes around come right back around.
The boom swing.
You swing and swing so hard.
And they didn't duck.
It swings
Overboard.
hard. This is the thing. I see a lady have a piece of plaque showing, she and the Prime Minister showing, and next Monday morning, the next morning, a man called. He feels so proud and see how this man paid the pension. I say, what kind of big people so, man? I don't go to secondary school, all who taking outside, they have college in them, and they still taking old tax. Who is so we taking? Big plot, you know. If daddy lady had a cut kick Mitchell short, but she alone had to get pension. Only she alone and she has she plot.
Now I tell you, everything is a setup.
25. They said 5,000 or 500. With them, only one person has to get. Well, I don't understand. That was that tricky tricks and them can't walk. I tell I already watch. Trust me. We watching the thing now. You will see January. Come January. If I live to see, come January. Man, it's in man, you know. You know what? And when I take out people money, I don't afraid to stay inside my house because people bad too much. You know, easy right now, you know. And nobody don't say no, you know. Everybody saying yes, you know. And what? I don't watch what going on. They listen, you know, and they say, let I be your mouth. When I retire, I will stop. Now they have it, you know. Stop with your mouth. Papa, I can't help you know. But I did. I listening.
All right, take care of this. All right, this color. Yeah, when they have this stage show, I just call it the stage show. The stage show does look nice, you know.
Number to call 442
0175. WhatsApp and landline. We have a call. Hello.
Hello. Afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, my good friend. Let's hear you. Go on.
Mr. Carl.
Hey.
You only said part of the part of the ruling is what I understand is that they taking out. She don't getting paid for 3 months. You don't hear that part too?
So after they pay her, she don't get no more money until next year.
I don't know if it's from January or December, but they suspending her for 3 months.
Yeah, but who they covering up for?
I don't know when I ask what they tell me, she's so glad that happened. That the 3 months mean nothing to her.
Okay.
Because they even go so far to say that is about 12,000. That means she was about 4,000. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
A month.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part I want to ask you about for you. Mr. Kala, how did the Prime Minister yesterday say?
You're speaking out with low.
Yeah, speak up a little.
I heard the Prime Minister saying on a news release, he alone that had the gumption to attack those people who have to get paid that work, but then they go home empty. And he that start that now. But in the end, he tell them it won't be done right now. You didn't hear that?
No, yeah, sometimes I think I don't listen lies, you know, because
I find that one is a lie because I heard Keith Mitchell and them talking about all that kind of people and them have to get money.
watch, caller, let me tell you something. The record is clear that people are and have been receiving pensions, payment. I have friends of mine I could bring on this radio and attest to that. So when they say that, they're not true.
No, but what I'm telling you is Keith Mitchell said you have to bring in all those other people, those carpenters, those what and what, to get pension. You understand me? Because they go home without anything. But he say no, is he, because he's a caring person, he take it
And he's so caring and he make 500 people who getting pay every month.
They not
They
nobody.
care?
They not nobody, Mr. Carl. That's the name. Yes, Mr. Carl. So that I have to ask you. You must find out that part for me.
The only first one is, and I still ask the question, who they covering up for? Because the facting issue is,
what they said to me is the union that gets in the blame now.
well, that's what they spinning it on. That is spin they put into it. They're making people believe that.
Yes. And if you don't say they're going back to work tomorrow, please, sir.
But remember, when other people strike in Grenada, they always didn't used to think they used to join them. Now they realize how strike is and who you affecting. They don't remember when you affect the school children and the parents and them. But all of a sudden, on the road to Damascus, a light shine in the eye. And they recognize it, strike is not a good thing, and they have procedure to strike. All the time they don't know.
But
So,
right now they feel it's the union that.
No man, that what they pushing. Let me tell you. Anytime the National Democratic Congress disciples and acolytes start speaking on something, they know that something is bad. So since you see they try to attack Dr. Keith Mitchell and the union boss, the Louis guy and all that, you have to realize nah, by the public don't take this thing nice. So they sending all that, but as Kennedy Bull tell me, we on Real FM go always beat back the stabilization and those statements, and we could count on that. So how are you?
Are there?
All right, well, you take care and thanks for listening, man.
Your friend must be calling me and she can't get me. You have a friend
That way.
in Ghana. So you have a friend in Ghana, Ms. Walker?
Oh, but I saw the last time, you know. Call us off air, man. I'll get your number and I'll give you.
Who number?
She have your number?
Yeah. She have my number?
I don't know she have your number. I don't have it.
She have my number.
Oh, well, I'll tell her you must call her, man.
Well, she there now, you know.
And she listening, I guess, man.
We don't talk every day, every minute. She want to know what time your program coming on, you know.
Okay. All right.
There is a high friend you are down there.
Yeah, man. Me and her good from back then, man.
Okay then, right.
All right, you take care.
Yes. The number to call,
442-0175. WhatsApp and landline.
Please call and ventilate. Express yourself. And Master Carl, I couldn't agree with you more. You have so many NP, they even calling on morning and tell Shaggy good morning. You call, ventilate, express yourself.
I don't see hear people and them.
Call. Claim you are strong NNP. Got something for your party.
I'll call you.
Hello?
KB.
Hi.
KB and Brother Carl. The first we talk about the person who are working in the post office could get them to quote. You already asked the question about the prosecutor. You know, so I start thinking about that. Anyhow, let's wait and see. And I want to give Dr. Keith Mitchell a thumbs up, you know, for the hard work he and his team. Peter David, good afternoon, wherever you is, and Michael and Bill and all of them. For the hard work. It's not some people in Grenada, they can't confuse them. They can't confuse me now. They want to put the blame on Union and Keith Mitchell right now. and Claudius Mitchell. And you're making a mistake. And you can't confuse me and others. You have other people that stand firm and they know what's going on. You understand? So, I don't understand what is really going on in Grenada. This lady speak there just now that call you. The Grenadian people know what is going on in this country. We're feeling it. And I want to say good afternoon to Mr. Andre Donald and Master Carl for that program. It's a wonderful program. Some of them just shame to call and speak out. All you have to speak out what as you let me say in January. Is it January? People look to see. Eh? Is it yes? I remember 2 years back. All now so November people start to listen by me and they give me $5 to hold them on. Because they start to buy fan and they start to buy easy and they start to buy mat and cap it. And nothing going on.
You're laughing? No, don't laugh. Serious business, you know. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, Jed. Serious business, Jed.
I know. Now suddenly the 2 fortnights already by the road with food. Really, they make them much fortnight and then you get another 2 fortnights before Christmas. And you could stay at your house and bet and stoop and to plan to do me all kind of thing and over there talking. Is the truth? Keep me tell me what's calling Grenada. And the ministers, you don't have nobody to go to. You could have still go right, Peter. But don't answer no phone now, you know. Peter, we don't answer no phone right now. And if you answer phone, me and you are in a hard time. Dr. Mitchell, take the rest. You work hard in this country, you and your team. And a lot of us have a conscience. They say do nothing. That's the hardship. They do nothing. Only road they say you build. But nobody walking with mud in the foot now and putting shoes under my house. And all class. Remember this thing, Grenadian. Remember that. Never forget the little what people do for you. January. Joke. I only think when January comes. So people ban your belly. Pastor Kalali. Just give us the fact. Give us the fact. And let's pray. We have to pray for our country. And I know the Prime Minister. I know all the ministers, Miss Gloria, them listening. I know. They're listening. This is number 1 radio station. You know? Tomorrow morning, they go call another one and they run them up. Call now. And see what's going on in
call now. Now we say call now.
What's going on in the country.
You want to hear you?
I paid $10 for 4 candles. $10. I would like that. Take the break. 4 candles for $10. Penny each. Give me a break. 1 lollipop is $1 now. 1 lollipop. A pack of cheese is $2. But you used to pay $1 and you used to pay $1.50. I have me to trade selling, laser selling by the road. Why are you saying in Grenada? What going on? What going on? Mr. Prime Minister, you have to do something. You have to get up and do what you have to do for the Grenadian people. Have a good evening, Grenada.
What's up?
KB, just
I like how she was the line.
KB, just to respond to one of the earlier callers who said that the President Prime Minister was saying he's the only person who had the gumption to treat with workers in this country. And here, KB, I would ask the Prime Minister, the President Prime Minister, if he knows about the Special Pension Act, KB. Act number 6 of 2003, KB. If he knows about that act, and KB, when I come here, whooping it, look at my document. If he knows about that act, the category of persons the act try to address is gates. Persons employed by government on a daily basis before 4th April 1983 and who served continuously and were appointed after that date. Persons including health aides who are employed by the government on a temporary basis before April 4th, 1983, served continuously and was appointed after. Now, he talking about things to die. Listen, special pension again. Persons employed by the government as temporary teachers, student and probationary teachers, persons who are employed as student nurses, even persons who are employed in the PRA, you know, KB, and they join the force after. The special pension took into consideration these people Act number 6 of 2003. And on Wednesday, folks, I'll go through the Special Pension Act. So all this jump up and play brave and say only them are do thing for pension. The evidence, the empirical evidence is here. Special Pension Act number 6 of 2003. So let it go and see massacre. I don't know what it's saying. Look at it right here. So when we come here, is to give information. And as somebody sent a message here for me, and I go read the message.
Yeah, let me hit.
He said, Mr. Caton, you see why NNP has to write its own history on what it accomplished on pension payment and pension reform, and don't let nobody write it for them. NNP. So that's why I say earlier on KB. You see some of them saying how they congratulating this government for paying retroactive, but they're not congratulating NNP for special pension. They not congratulate them for the pension and the paying for the 4.4 million on pension and the 7.7 on retroactive payment. They don't speaking about that on them. You prefer to give Deacon road to beat chest, the Honorable Prime Minister. Sorry, sir. The Honorable Prime Minister Deacon. Sorry for calling you Deacon. My humble apologies. I don't want to go down there. They're giving you all kind of credence, but they're forgetting these things on them. And KB, I believe when you tell the full story, those who come after us, KB, go have appreciation or go down, because life is like a baton. It's what we pass on. So when we do pass on the special pension, when we don't pass on the pension to address the people between 1983 and 1985, neck on them. We don't tell any full story. When we continue to say NNP didn't pay pension, when neck on them receiving pension already, 70% of the finance right to the government of grade and NIS. We're not doing the thing justice, KB. And all we have to do is to be fair. We have any calls?
Yeah.
Let's take it, man.
I like to leave you, Leo.
Hello.
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 Hello, afternoon.
Hello.
Hey, Biga.
How you doing?
Yeah. We have special people for politics. They can't do nothing about politics.
The Prime Minister, the
I don't
Honorable
know about
Deacon.
that. They can't know him by. I don't know him about no politics. I don't know about that. He don't know nothing about politics, you know. You understand? He doing things as if he did in the magistrate court. But tell him I say, he don't allow me. Thank you.
Okay.
4420175.
Next call.
Waiting for your contribution.
Let me tell you something. You calling?
No, go ahead. Me, I say.
The police
waiting for the money.
Mr. Prime Minister.
The police
the
want the money.
police say
You want the money.
you pay teachers when they don't work. A teacher take the government coach she losing. Then the cash she have to pay in court is more than the money she go in court for. You know? Police say, and here the police say, watch. They pay teachers when they didn't work. But the police beat all the struggle protecting the state even when they were striking. And on the front line, the police was for COVID. Up to now, you see the Prime Minister promised to address the retroactive payment for 1985, the pay and grade. Police, the men don't have a clue what that pay and grade was about. They just talk. Somebody tell them that, and they go on the campaign trail, and they say they go pay police, and they catch police. Again, KB, the love of money is the root of all evil.
They go to the phone lines.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We lost it.
Hello.
So KB,
they'll come back.
The police want their phones.
Yeah, the police want their
Then.
Hello. Hello?
No. That they calling the wrong number. 4420175. They calling the front desk phone.
Okay. 442.
That number is not allowed.
Marilyn.
4420175.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Brother KB,
Hi.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Master Carl,
Yay.
you said something one time, and I quite believe in you. When Christ gave the people the warning and he tell them that he goes pass them through the Red Sea, and he did pass them,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they reach across, they ask for another God. You see, when a new leader, what Grenadians do? That's the question I want to ask. What did Grenadians do on the same occasion? Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
Hello.
No bouncing check. Who bouncing check? I want a parang. This year I want a parang. I go sing a song.
The
They played me.
Number to call 442-0175.
Come on here and play me
Call
song alone.
and ventilate. Express yourself. Be part of the program. You know.
Hold on, we have one on the WhatsApp. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Everybody want the pay. I also want my pay too for September.
Thank you.
I'm a cleaner. Bye.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Prime Minister,
thank you.
The cleaners want to pay for September. You boasting and ball you beating your chest and say the only person studying people at work. So the all workers in Grenada. Because you say you have to defend. Next.
Yeah, man, we did.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon.
A person lower.
What?
Could you speak up, please?
We don't fighting with
Hello.
it.
Could you speak up, please?
They'll call back. We don't fighting with it. Next person.
Hello.
We'd fight.
Who
bunks in check?
The number to call 442-0175.
Pardon and them in Montrich.
Ventilate.
And a good parang
Express
song.
yourself. Be part of the program.
Bay Sky, what going on with you? Everything good inside of England?
NNPites.
Good afternoon
Wake
to
up,
Michelle
wake up,
Alexander.
man.
Sam, what's up, man? I love your comments this afternoon. Have a next call.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I just want to say a little bit as it relates to the pension issue.
Right, I'm listening.
Now, I've been hearing the government boasting about paying pension, and some of the supporters are into it, saying that NNP never pay pension. That is totally false. A lot of people that they paid now were already receiving an advanced pension pending the outcome of the case. And that had happened, and it was ruled in favor of workers. But the government of the day did not appeal the matter. So pension started with the Kit Mitchell administration.
Proper reasoning.
So there is nothing there that you go boasting about because these were money due to people. It's not a promise you made. The government had an obligation to pay people. Because if you make a promise, you could say, okay, I go build a road there, and you did not do it, then nobody could take you to court. But if you refuse to pay the pension and gratuity, then there are consequences. People will go to court and challenge you, and you will have to end up paying more. So I think NNP have to sound their voices, because I think they would have done so much that they have to keep on talking. And they inherit a very good government. They say it was pregnant, the treasury was pregnant.
Yeah.
So they inherit a good government. And that could go in NNP's favor because they have to keep on sounding the trumpet because they did well. And just on behalf of St. John, I have never seen so much done during the period of the past representative. And for people to sit down and voted for someone that they never knew who isn't all that friendly, who is immature, and pick her to represent you apart from all what Alvin Darby would have done. I don't know, maybe it's either a blessing or a curse that take us. But the election has consequences, and we have to live with the consequences until such time. But in the meantime, NNP should continue sounding the trumpet because they would have done well. So thank you. Have a good evening. Keep
Bless,
the program going.
bless.
Enlighten people because sometimes people don't know. So you have to keep on enlightening them. Have a good evening.
Thank you for calling. Because that's a real NNP.
19 minutes past 3 o'clock.
He's not only a real LNP.
You have a lot.
He has captured the whole essence of what is happening. Pension is not a promise, but an obligation.
Yeah.
So the present Prime Minister didn't promise pension, he obligated to pay.
Yeah.
There's not a damn thing he could do but to pay.
Yeah.
And he know if he don't pay,
yeah.
men could take him to court like a Homlin Armstrong and them do. So all about beating chest. And I do congratulate him for what is the obligation of government. That is his obligation being the Prime Minister. I don't give him no credence. All kind of congratulations. For what? For his obligation. Pension is not a promise, but an obligation. And as the caller rightly put it, from the day the ruling come out, any government of the day had to do what it is because it became an obligation, KB.
Yeah, and
so I don't give in Honorable Dicko Mitchell no credence on pension on a retroactive payment.
But Carl, what is bothering me? Nobody congratulating the government for not updating the ruling.
Because if Dr. Mitchell had appealed the ruling, I'll know he didn't go again in appeal it.
Yeah, just saying we didn't appeal it. We had a reason for not appealing it.
So that is why KB ordered and I say I don't understand why people congratulating the present Prime Minister on this thing. When as the caller rightly put it, is not a promise. Pension is not a promise, it's an obligation based on the ruling.
They say we didn't want to pay.
So even though he decided not to pay, people just have to take him to court and get the money. It could be 1 by 1, 2 by 2. Yeah. So you don't have nothing out. He pay thing. The consolidated fund of food that and Dr. Kit Mitchell caused monies to be in the consolidated fund. So when they say about beating the chest, and I see certain people congratulating him for what?
Nothing at all.
Hello.
Oh God, oh, Carlo. No congratulations for
No.
Prime Minister. But Prime Minister Dicko Mitchell, he don't do no work.
It's an obligation. He must do it, Kami.
Hey, yes.
Unlike
Yes.
listen, Kami.
Yes.
Unlike Dr. Mitchell, there was no court ruling and the Special Pension Act was passed. Unlike Dr. Kit Mitchell, there was no court ruling and he paid persons that retired, persons between 1983 and 95, an advance payment in the sum of $4.4 million actual payment and 7.7 retroactive as what is being paid now. He didn't have no court ruling forcing him to do it. So he is the one that anybody had to get congratulations for pension is Dr. Kit Mitchell is the real MVP.
Of course, yes. And I
After the ruling came, any government that come had to abide by the ruling. So when I come in and say I don't give him no credence because I'm speaking facts and tell them to prove otherwise. Pension is an obligation.
The man
not a promise, an obligation.
I was saying already this last man that speak there.
But Kami, I've been saying that all along. I've been explaining that all along for people.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know, but some of them they so bad mind. They shouldn't to talk. But I have to they go come out, you know. What? Mark me what today. They go start to speak just now. You got to have some more time. If I had money, I give you money, you know. If I had to support that program, you know.
Just the love you have and the calls you're making.
Is that good enough?
Yeah. Once we feel the love.
Yeah, I don't understand how you are saying thanks to Dr. Mitchell and his team. Just I give you a thumbs up. I know how you will beat me, but it's all right. Beat me back hard. I don't know already. Have a good evening.
So when I say Dr. Kid Mitchell is the real MVP KB, that's the evidence. Because special pension, the advance payment of pension, and he do appeal the ruling, he is the man to get the credence for pension, KB.
Yeah.
So who say now they're congratulating this present prime minister? They don't know what's going on. It's like, damn, he don't know. So pension must be placed in its proper prospective gate. And Dr. Kit Mitchell still remains the MVP with pension concerning Grenada. And their evidence to back it up. It's not just talk here. Unlike how they talk, KB. You have evidence here to afford us to say that.
The number to call. Oh, we lost it. Call back, caller.
Hello.
I'll have to have like a patience.
Number to call 442-0175. Call and ventilate. Hello, Express.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm listening to the program. How long? I want to ask a question. How long the gang is a prime minister in Grenada?
About over 100 days.
So what the gang know about Grenada?
You go find out.
I don't find the gang know.
You go find out the hard way.
Grenada that people have to big up the guns. The guns do not make Grenada more and make Grenada people hungry.
And spend money. Don't forget, follow the money. You have to follow the people. The train.
And I really can. So excuse me, but sometimes I don't just listen and listen to people with the prime minister. The prime minister don't do nothing for us, and the person who do things for us, they try to have him like nobody. The one who stand up to do things for us, what do things in Grenada or make Grenada people know something. We're not stupid. Come on, man. No, because you have to do better than that. This jump up you getting on with this stupidness you getting on, we pass the stage of that.
Jabby playing.
Come on, you don't see that? We pass the stage, Grenada people pass the stage of this kind of now living. We living higher than that. We can't take that under you. Yeah, but hold on. You ain't see the man bring us down to nothing. Okay.
The caller spoke something, the KV. The real achievement of this present prime minister, you have them there, no KV. Say it, let the people hear again. Because people have to hear. That's the real achievement.
Zingo, the people are them tell me use the man for the para. Work on it.
Zingo.
High cost of living.
Zingo. I don't know who is Zingo. They say that the parang man.
Runaway inflation. High utility bills. High unemployment. Victimization. Strike. Increase in the crime rate.
That what you have to claim ownership of. Gates. And explain to the Grenadian public who is intended for the cover up on the port. Did the DPP give any instruction or advice, and if yes, what it was? That's the question the Grenadian public want to know.
I believe that situation, the port Grenadians go just talk it out. He go just expose himself. Because that's the kind of nation we are. And then, you know, not everybody go know that just now because secret is that thing we can't keep it. Like Andrew say, with chess is not banking.
Hello.
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 Hello, afternoon.
Afternoon.
Master Carl and Brother KB.
Hello.
Again, y'all has opened the eyes of a lot of people and bring some clarity, especially the way you explain the obligation for pension on the state to pay pension. The port situation, a lot of people doesn't understand what went on the port. A lot of people keep wondering what happened. To me, it's kind of like a semi-secret. People don't have a lot of clarity on what went on. And I think that's what why a lot of NNP people are not speaking up bravely on the matter because of lack of what really went on the post. Some people saying it's because the lady this and that, and some people saying this person. We know they're trying to tie Dr. Mitchell with it, but we know that's a lie. But a lot of people doesn't understand. They need some clarity on what's really going on the port. But again, I want to give that program 100%, man.
Thank you very much.
Bringing that type of knowledge to the Grenadian people. And Master Carl, I didn't know. Did you practice law before?
Eh?
Did you practice law before?
Well, no, man. I don't pass the bar, but I know a little bit.
Master Carl, you do a fine job. And Brother KB, the way you back it up, it's very good. And I think the Grenadian people learning. They're learning. And I think what we need to do more is to share the program with people and encourage more people to listen to the program.
Well, you do your part in that.
Good.
Well, listen, what you have to do is to share it with person, ask them to subscribe and put on the notification. So anytime the program comes on, they will be a part of it. We need to spread. So any person that you in within your contacts, you share it, ask them to subscribe to the channel and do the notification. So once we come on, we'll be right in there.
This is factual knowledge. And
Now, we only facts we give here. You know?
Yeah, man.
They go vex with what's saying here, but they can prove nothing otherwise. And we don't even dealing with circumstantial evidence here. They didn't real thing.
So we see really who is the father of really taking on the obligation for pension in Grenada.
And Carla, just before you go, I just want to tell you one other thing. In 2010, there was a judgment with Homelin Armstrong. Who was in power in 2010? The National Democratic Congress. Did they pay Homelin Armstrong? No. So when they come talking all this old talk now, it's just old talk and bluster.
Good.
All right, take care, caller. Thanks for calling. KB, in 2010, when Mr. Integrity was the Prime Minister, they didn't pay Homelin Armstrong?
Yeah. So they are accustomed not paying bills. They don't like to pay bill.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, KB.
How you doing?
Yes, I've come back again. I just want to say that.
Don't want to say it.
Yes, propaganda, lies, and this kind of wrong, untruth, and so on, to sort of twist people's minds. That is what the NDC is all about. Yes, and the more that the program like yours and others come out with the information to really tell the people the truth, and those of us out there is to continue passing on that truthful information, because they will try to confuse the minds of the people, and where is truth and facts, they want to twist it. So I'm very happy that you're on that part, especially with the pension issues and many other issues. And we know the contradictions that sharpened with economic stagnation, social injustices, and so forth, will shape the conditions to cause change. And when I say that, you know what that means. So we have to just give our people the information, keep the moral high, and help them in some way or the other to see how we could make it through this period. Yes, and I want to tell everybody, keep strong and do what we have to do and build the NNP. Thank you.
Bless.
Yes, caller. Food for thought. And as you just mentioned, caller, it's not only myself and KB, you know, we cannot be like John the Baptist in the wilderness, you know. Let's take the break here.
Yeah, let's take a little break.
This is Cleveland Life.
You asking me what is wrong with Trinidad? You can't understand why things go on so bad. You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an X-car, and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with mag wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned 8-cylinder. With much new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize.
They say, Carl, no, the new driver cannot drive.
Tell you.
Yes, he will be back.
Take yes, we have a caller with
Well, let's take the call.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How y'all doing?
Not bad at all.
You all really mean what you all saying there about the young man don't deserve credit?
What talking me? No, let him express himself. Let him express himself. You go right ahead.
We're holding a discussion here. I don't call to argue. But
No,
you
let him express.
He does come smart. I remember him.
Yeah, let him take
after
somebody.
27 years in power,
Mm-hmm.
the NMP had done nothing for the pensioners.
Before you saying that, that's why I can't take him on.
You doesn't speak facts.
I just can't take him on.
No.
Listen, I disagree with you. Let the man express himself. No, to disagree after. I disagree with you.
I disagree. All right,
let him say what you want to say,
okay
and then after we're going to counter that.
I will take your disagreement, but not his.
I don't agree with you all the time. How you handle it? Let him man say what he have to say.
They don't salt up the thing, man. They just come with it.
Yeah, but I don't find that.
Carl explaining himself whole time.
Yes, but the man, he have a right to express himself.
All right, KB, I'll take that one back. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon.
I feel like if you are talking to y'all in the morning. Yes, let me ask you a question. So when last the government had a press conference? Anybody could answer? Huh?
Yeah. When the last time there was
a stage show the other end?
Yes.
But the Prime Minister said all you up in the game, he'll only have those things on a need to know basis.
Yeah, but he had a press conference recently.
But I think he had something to do when the payment started to be made.
Oh, that was the press conference he had.
Yeah.
So all the other times with the port issue, all the other issues that existing around that time, no press conference. He did say, yes, that the press conference would be on a need-to-know basis, and there have been pressing issues in this country, and the Prime Minister and his cabinet would have refused to, come forward and have press conference in regards to these concerning matters. No, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. There's so many odds against this government. As you say, we are very silent. We are taking our deaths like sheep. These 5 persons were sent home without pay. Port worker, the vendors or whoever suffered because of the closing down of the port. And everybody is sitting still. Nobody is creating any, nobody isn't saying anything, And if I'm certain that if all of these issues and matters that you would have expounded on in your programs during the LNP raid, we'd have had protests on the streets by now because of these happenings, especially the ones where persons were sent home without pay. I think this is so disrespectful and disregarding, and it's hurtful because you have people who would have worked and you just send them home, not even thinking that they need the money to be paid to them so that they can pay their bills and send their children to school. It's very disrespectful. I don't think there's any coming back for this. no coming back. There's no recourse or any apology, or well, they don't apologize or anything that could come back after they could come back after this, after what you're doing to people. And I'm saying this to say that we need to start standing up against these things that's happening in Grenada here. We need to start. We're too silent. The silence is deafening. It's crazy. Everybody, and it's like people are afraid to speak because they're probably afraid they might be victimized, and it's madness because at the end of the day, people used to speak left, right, and center under the new National Party. Now people are afraid to speak because of the fact that they are afraid of being victimized, or they might, if they go and ask for a piece of board, they mightn't get it. It's quite unfortunate. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
In 2018 Gates, 56 retirees affected by the Homeland Armstrong cases was paid pension and gratuity in the sum of $4.4 million in pension payments and $7.7 million in retroactive payments. In 2003, we had the Special Pension Act passed. So when persons say that NNP and Dr. Keith Mitchell didn't pay no pension, there's nothing further from the truth than that. And that is facts, and that is documented. It's not something I'm making up. But what happens there? A lot of persons who make those statements, some know, but they just want to throw cold water over it. And some of them really don't know. They really don't know. So, Act number 6 of 2003, the Special Pension Act, a lot of people don't know, and persons are benefiting from that.
And I love that about you. You always have your facts.
And then in 2018, July, it was gazetted, the supplementary appropriations for those persons. And you could read it in the 2019 budget. It could be found on page 21 of the 2019 budget. It could be found in Parliament sitting July 18th, 2018. Act number 4 of 2018. These are the evidence. It's not what I'm making up or not what we saying on the radio here. These are facts. Because when I come to build my case here, I don't come for people to call. Like they could call and say they don't believe. Yeah. But that does not change the fact that it is gazetted, the information is there, and these are the empirical facts. And like I always say, pension is an obligation now to the state from the consolidated fund. No government, no KB, cannot come and say they don't pay in pension. They have to. They must. They bound to.
They have to.
It's not no promises or out of the good graces of the present Prime Minister. It's an obligation to pay. Section 4 of the 1958, the same pension law they celebrate, KB. Section 4 say there shall be a charge on and paid out of the revenues of the colony all such sums of money as may from time to time be granted by way of pension, gratuity, and other allowance pursuant to this ordinance. KB is not what we feel or because we don't like it, Michelle. These is the empirical facts. So if you have a problem, go and beat up on the 1958 legislation or beat up on the information in the budget documents or beat up on the 2003 Special Pension Act. These are the things you have to do, believe, not me. I only be in the medium by which you receive the information, but the information is there for everybody to go and find out. And what saddens me is people willing to call this station and compromise their good sense with things what they don't know about. If you don't know, find out and then call and we go have a discussion. But when you call and off the bat saying things what is not true. I can't allow that.
Yeah.
Because it is not true, it's not your opinion, or this thing is not my opinion. We don't hear giving we opinion. If I give in my opinion here, you are hearing something different. These writings and ordinance and laws and the 1958 legislation is constitutional. And anytime you have to interfere, the constitution is referendum, so not me. I only be the messenger, it's not me. So if I want to beat up on my house and my step, go on.
I tell you, we go fix this step.
It's
don't
not
worry.
me.
We go fix that step.
These things is documented, and you could go on and giving you the year and the page and everything in the budget documents that relates to pension and what the NNP has done. So guess when I come here, I come to battle.
I know.
Like Brian Lara, when I start going, I don't even build in a sweat.
6 rounds only.
Not 6. I don't even build in a sweat. It's poetry in motion. I like Floyd Money Mayweather. After 2 rounds and I take in data, I just take in the opponent apart. This calling and say about if is not what I really believe, is what is a fact. And I want the caller or any caller to prove to me pension is not an obligation to the state, and the President Prime Minister just doing it because he want to. It's an obligation, there's nothing he could do. Because they jump up thing and what they don't listen. Line up the clip with the Attorney General before I go for me, because I want to play that clip.
What minutes again? We have 15 minutes.
If it's line up the clip with the Attorney General when she talk about that thing, because a lot of them pretending. All they pretending. I'll get a little thing to think, because a lot of things don't going bad as KBC. Price, goods going up, inflation going up, bills going up, crime going up. I know all you on the back foot. I know all you looking for a little something for solace. But I won't allow all you to do that.
We have a call.
Hello. 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 Afternoon.
And the caller that called me on the WhatsApp, call back, please. I want to hear you. Yes, you want to hear the AG one time?
Yeah.
You want to hear?
And while they're at it, address the workers on the Grand Barrier Estate for me.
Let me give you
I love boasting, I love pain, and only workers you care about. Think of the workers on the Grand Barrier Estate.
Yeah, she say. Get it now.
That work is whether it's taking place in the public sector or the private sector, and the need to regularize as much as we can contract workers. But let's be straight. We got to be straight with the nation. Contract work and pension reform must go together, because we commit to pay the retroactive pension, and we are doing so. We understand the import of the ruling of the court, but so as not to do severe damage, perhaps even irreparable damage to our economy in the long run, we must work out a pension plan going forward that's sustainable. Because as it stands now, when people retire, they are entitled to NIS, that's public servants I mean, they're entitled to NIS plus government pension. And government pension is a non-contributory pension, which means the government alone pays everything into the pension fund. Plus, under the NIS law, the government pays 6% into the NIS, into the National Insurance Fund. So, going forward, that will be a really hefty sum that the IMF and everybody else have already warned is not sustainable going forward as it is. Plus, if we regularize contract workers across the board without at the same time treating with pension reform, what do? We bloat the public service, we expand the public service, and in so doing, the amount of people who will be eligible for pension. So we call on our friends in the labor movement to sit with us and work out an acceptable mode going forward, where everyone will be happy, where we will not leave an unbearable financial burden for those who come after us, and where those who retire going forward.
Tell you.
So I've just played that for the benefit of that caller. Because if the AG who is in government is telling you that to pay pension is not easy, they don't want to bankrupt the country. You come in and tell me how they pay in pension, so they bankrupt in the country? Because if the AG says so, and she asking on she friends in the union, but you come in and try to fight up with me and telling me about pension payment, kind of thing. One of you people saying it can happen. I wonder if these people just listen. You understand what I'm saying, KB?
Yeah.
Because the AG telling you to pay pension, you must have pension reform. Yeah. The Prime Minister telling you about pension reform, but you can't really let him and talk about the paying pension. Like you don't listen to them.
I tell you, fret me there. I don't know you going to that this tacky community.
No, I respect people's opinion, but I don't agree when you don't come in good.
Yeah, when you don't come good.
Because every time you call in and try that stupidness here, the only first time you're doing that, you don't distracting me. Because I'll put you in your place. You don't distracting me. You have other mediums you could call and speak that on them and they go let you do it. Okay. But I don't let you do that yet. You don't come in and try to give no person misinformation through the medium here whilst I'm here. You could do it with other people, it's a matter entirely for you. But whilst I'm on the station here, I don't letting you call and give people misinformation through my program. You could call any other one and see that on them.
Big get hit, man.
But you don't come in here and try to mislead people when you fully well know. And you is a man who's supposed to be in the know. Because you know me and I know you. So why you just try to call here and mislead and make yourself woefully inadequate and wanting? If you want to give the Prime Minister a big up, that's for you.
Yeah.
And that is your prerogative, but you can't try to force me into doing it. No. All well and good, you have mediums you could go on, you have place you just call, you have people that just give money to do it. Continue doing it. Make your contribution. Like in Calypso, in Antigua, you have a fellow called King Obstinate. You say, no matter what, you go speak the truth, you go sing the truth. I'll speak the truth. You don't have to send in money for me every month. Two things here. Send money where you don't send.
You talking the truth anyways.
Don't send money for me. Send where you don't send to slander people and throw pee on people and steal pee and burn good bag they give school children to go to school.
All right, Igwe,
I don't foresee myself or no journalist and that kind of thing. Stop that.
Let me take a quick break and we'll come back.
You find we so rich in human resources, and yet the country going to pieces. Well, let me tell you, my friend, where we went wrong. After Eric Williams' old car breakdown, we called in an AR, we ordered an X-car, and installed a new driver. With 33 passengers from the party, we gave him a maxi taxi, fitted with mag wheels, tape deck, computer, air conditioned with cylinder. With posh new fittings, this maxi car arrived. Then it started to swerve and nosedive. It took a year for passengers to realize. They say the new driver cannot drive. Well, of the 33 chosen passengers, Ramnat Pandey, Humphrey and Sudama.
Yeah, we back. No bunks check, no fault me parangal yo. Sing my song for me, I'm playing it every Sunday.
The number to call 442-0175.
Take it to the phone lines. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello. This
Hello?
program that you all have, I think you all are aware that people listen it from far and near.
Yeah, we know.
Because somebody called me from the States and tell me they listen to those programs all the time.
We know.
Now, when I listen to people calling and expressing the ignorance here don't mean violence, the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I get frightened to travel because I feel now like I don't want people to know me that Grenadian because they will say we don't teach. Now, when this pension issue came up, the unions were not concerned about pension, you know. They were concerned about gratuity.
Definitely. That's what make the matter go to court.
Because the government was saying, okay, we're going to give you a greater pension every month and we're going to cut down the gratuity. But at the end of the day, you're getting your money. Right. The government said, whatever the court decision is, they will abide by. When the court decision came out, the government said, okay, they will pay. They're going to pay the retroactive force. They made provision, okay, for that. Then the government also said they set up a committee to look at how they will proceed down the road. They invited the unions. The lawyer tell them to go. Right. At the end of the day, one has to realize also that public officers don't get gratuity. Gratuity is a gift. What public officers get is a loan, which takes you 12 and a half years to repay.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, when this gentleman called, for example, today and talking about the government, they for more years and they don't do nothing about pension. That prime minister that was there, I remember he said, you know, when you look at the things in Grenada, people working for almost years, they have nothing to get. He passed the Special Pension Act.
Yes.
So where they get this notice from trying to make our Grenadian look stupid? Let me tell you the next thing. Remember when the Cubans were here during the revolution? They had occupied a place in Grenada called, well, afterwards they call it Sandino, because one of their people died in some accident there. Right. They used to make blocks and all of that there. The NDC government gave that property to the Housing Authority of Grenada. It was vested, so it belonged to the Housing Authority of Grenada. Housing Authority of Grenada is a statutory body. It is owned by government, but government don't pay their staff. They have to make money to pay themselves.
Yeah.
All right? NDC under Tillman Thomas give the National Insurance Scheme that same property, take it from the Housing Authority and give it to the National Insurance payment of a debt.
Mr. Integrity.
After that, now the Housing Authority had to pay rent to the NS. Every month they had to pay rent or every year to the NS to be in a property which belongs to them. Now they have the whole operation there. You know what happening right now? NS tell them they want the property. They have
I heard so.
They have to go. So the record, and you remember at the time when they did that, that was the time that he's selling things like credit and they sell what didn't belong to the government also.
Yeah.
So this NDC government, like I keep telling people, is a brand of people. They have a pattern. You don't have to wonder what they would do. Once you hear it's NDC,
You know what's happening. Poor people under attack.
you understand? So all these kind of people and come down to police thing about, oh, they don't do nothing and they do this and they do that. I tell you, it makes me feel shame to be a Grenadian. Thank you.
Bless.
Blessing, my dear fellows.
Give me last 3 minutes on the inside.
Any more call? Any call?
No, we don't. Let me see. But you'll have to get a second.
Some people is trying to get you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Kibi, that caller, they make some points, Kibi.
School children say to study him. School children say to forget it.
No, the last caller.
Oh, the last caller.
In
Okay.
terms of
Yeah.
the housing place, KB,
Yeah.
Okay.
and all the other places,
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
the NDC surrendered.
Yeah.
And now they speaking and what is sad, KB, about it, we now are experiencing some things, KB, that not even in the revolution they happen in KB. This is making our go people in.
No, the first time I experienced that.
Yeah, we have last and final call for the afternoon.
Hello? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
I
I
get
just want
freedom.
to say, I want to make one thing clear to both, not so much Kiwi, but
You'll find KVD on your side today.
you're saying the same thing. You're saying the same thing, and I'm set up this trouble for that statement.
Yeah.
Because I don't have no side.
Yeah.
I am a member and a registered member of the NMP. And anytime I'm speaking, I see things as I see it.
Yeah.
And if NMP is wrong in anything that I see is wrong, I will say it. If NMP is wrong, if NDC is wrong, I will say it. That's me. And I hate people telling me that I'm taking side or taking two sides. Right? I'm not coming on the program for that. If you want me on the program to only say things about NMP, I'm prepared. But I am going to speak on the program, and I'm saying that for the two gentlemen directly to understand. I am speaking as Clifford Bridgman.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
right?
Mr. Bridgman.
And if you don't want me on the program, tell me you don't want me on the program, but don't try to classify me.
Okay.
Right? Once I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, if I say that it's wrong, stop me, cut me off. Once I'm wrong, I have the right to think. So I would like to know that from you all, gentlemen.
Can you make
I
your
don't want
point?
me not to call the program.
Make the point, Clifford.
No, I'm saying that I want to know that so that I can know whether I have to call the program or not.
No, we welcome and value you calling Clifford. We want you to call.
Well, please, don't treat me in that way again.
Who treat you in that way?
You both of you all.
All right, go right ahead, Clifford. Let me
Right? Both of you all treat me that way.
All
I
right.
mean, I don't like it. When I call as Clifford Bridgman.
Do that.
Right.
All right, Mr. Bridgman, have yourself a wonderful afternoon.
Same to you.
All right. All right, we come to the end of the program, KB.
Yeah.
You good?
Next
You good, KB? You good?
Yeah, man. Next week again.
All right.
Enjoy the program.
I'm a Grenadian to my heart and soul. Friends, I would travel all over this world. Anyway I go, I bound to come back. Little Grenada, this land of my butt. When I take a look at the horizon, only noticedness out there I seen. They treat and evil Indian suffering. Lack of manners, respect already gone. You shake it, Mitchell boy. Samota no pemoka hele.
We wish to interrupt this program in order to bring you this special bulletin. This is your Christmas radio station, Real FM. Ho, ho, ho.